Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's week 3 on the bird of prey, and you'll notice an absence of bird of prey here. No, it's not cloaked. It is in another room right now because I am wanting to keep it clean and away from what I'm working on, which is this lovely piece of lumber right here. It's the base. That's a little box, tchotchke box you pick up from the craft store. I wanted to be able to open it, obviously, to get in to do the wiring. Here we've got power jack going into the side. That's going to run to here, and this big block right here is for the hole that I need to drill down into it to set the spike, or to set the post. And it's going to give me the stability that I need. And then when it comes in here, it's actually going to end up sitting on another piece that's going to give me my gap for the wiring to come out of the bottom of that post. When this hits the ground, there's still airspace between the bottom of the tube and the bottom of the base, and that's going to allow me to run the wiring. I have not quite decided yet whether the speaker is going to sit here or here. And also we have a question of where the circuit board is going to sit. I have a feeling that I'm going to want to wire everything here onto the lid and then close it up. So that would mean the board would sit there, the speaker might sit there, and then we run all of our wiring out of this tube, and then we just close it up when we're ready to be done. That would only mean that the wire that goes to the power is going to have to be a little longer than what I've got, plus the wires to the switches might have to be a little bit longer. So that's why I've kind of got everything disassembled. I'm going to put this up on a block, something like that, and that will, I haven't quite decided, probably this way would be best. I can put it up on a little bit of a block like that, hot glue it down, and run it that way. So I'm just laying out my parts and pieces at this point. I need to go ahead and drill that hole though, so let me get the heavy equipment out and do that, and then we'll be right back. Well, it's been one of those days, everybody. I don't feel like I've gotten anything done, but I haven't stopped moving all day. You can hear the plotter plotting in the background, the printer printing in the background. It's just madhouse. But in order to feel like I got something done, I went ahead and put the gray coat on, the first gray coat on these clear bits now that they're masked off. I've also been playing at picking at the bottom of the bird and picking out details to paint in, put a nice wash over everything. I like that. I'll do more of that. I'm starting to move towards the top now, getting some of these panels in, and I wanted to get the area underneath the roll bar here painted so that I could get that bar in. Once you see that red stripe up there, it makes a whole world of difference. But yeah, it's just been one of them. And everybody, I don't know if I introduced Tuesday or not. If I have, then I will go back and edit this much out. But we are continuing work on the bird of prey today, and now what I want to do is I'm going to use this bonus piece, the second one, because I want to try something out first. This is the engine piece that has been masked and painted with the first a gray primer and then a metallic gray over top of it. But I think what I'd like to do, because this is a big clear piece of plastic, I want to do the thing that you're not supposed to do, and that is I want to cloud that up so that it's not as clear as it comes from the factory. Yes, every time you get a window, you try, like everything, to keep it clean. But in this case, I want it to be frosted. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to spray the inside with a flat Krylon flat overcoat and frost it up a bit before I put the color down on it, just to see how that works. And if I'm happy with that, then I will do the same to this one, and then I can put the yellow and red clear inside of that. I've got the base out on the back porch. It is looking very nice. I've tried some experiment with some hammered paint and a couple of other colors because that wood base was very dull and drab and boring, and didn't like any of those. So I figured I could clear it up with a bunch of paint and maybe make it look interesting that way. I am working on the. That's why you see this. Why you see the masking there. I'm just picking out a couple of plates here and there for some additional color. And yeah, let me go do this and we'll be right back. Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back. It is Wednesday and we've officially entered list making season. I am running around like the proverbial chicken, and I've got so many little things that so many little details to take care of in the next week and a half that I have resorted to writing some of it down, sad to say, and I'm knocking things off the list one by one. And today I'm actually going to be able to turn myself around and get back to finishing up or hopefully finishing up the bird of prey here. Now, it looks glossy. I know it looks glossy. I hate the fact that it looks glossy. But that's what I had to do to make the washes work yesterday. I will be putting flat coats over all of this, fear not. But yesterday I went in and put some detail on the top wing feathers. And I've got those covered up with this mask now so that I can spray some of the NATO green around it. We're picking at it. We're almost done. Quite happy with the head here. I may do a little bit of dry brushing to bring out some detail there. I did yesterday. I spent a lot of time putting some rust, and it's the Vallejo environmental rust texture that I've been putting on some areas on the neck and the belly of the beast, and on some of the guns. I'm still finishing up detail on the guns, even though they don't have a lot of metallic detail on them in the films. I may want to put just a little glint here and there of metallic on that. But today's job is going to be to work on the greening here. I've also finished up more or less the clear parts. There's the clear part of the engine. Now, doesn't that look nice with all those masks taken off? And getting it to fit now is everybody's fun issue because it's a weird bit of geometry back here. I need to clean off the LEDs. Have gotten some paint on them, so a little wipey with some acetone. That'll clean those off. And once I get this detail in here done and this done, then we'll be ready for the final flat coating. Once that has been accomplished, then it's all a matter of getting it nailed down to the base. Now, I worked on this base yesterday. I say I worked. I didn't do any work on it. I sprayed a bunch of paint on it and let it do its thing. This leathered texture is a combination of about 4 or 5 different paints laid on top of each other. There's a hammered paint this is all out of the rattle can. There's a hammered paint on here. There's a really heavy glitter paint on here, some black, some silver, and then I just let it sit out in the sun and let it do its thing, and it cracked and elephant skinned and did all of that lovely stuff. But I've got a couple of magnets in here holding it together. I've got the Ralph's board attached. I've got the speaker attached. I need to hook up the switches and wiring, and then we'll be ready to do the final wiring. So I'm still on track to getting it done this week. I said this is Wednesday, and we are well on our way, I think. So let me get this off the table. Let me get some of this stuff prepared, and we will be doing the NATO green on the top of the wings. Alrighty, so I've got the wings more or less finished. I have got the NATO green painted out around the perimeter of the feathers. So let's go ahead and yank these masks off. Come on. Go ahead and yank these masks. You can still see the gloss inside there from when I had that sprayed. But now we can flat everything. I need to figure out if I'm going to put any decals on there, then put the decals before I put the flat spray down. But we've also got the engine piece finished. Lovely engine piece that it is. Now I'm going to put a little bit of my famous fiber fill in there, clean those bulbs off, and then glue that piece down, and we should be ready to go. Kind of shooting in the dark here as far as how effective the lighting is going to be, because nothing's hooked up, and we're going to discover that mañana when I go to hook the wiring back up to the kit. I'm just dipping my Q-tip in a little bit of acetone here. Wipe the overspray off of these LEDs. Now I had sanded those to increase their brightness, so I just need to take the paint off of them that's not working in my favor. And then once we're all finished, I'll go around the other bulbs, like the ones on the front of the wings there, and make sure that they have been cleaned off as well. Easier to do this, take a couple seconds to clean them off with some acetone than it is to mask them sometimes. Okay, so and you know what? I don't mind that being frosted. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this in, and then when I go to put my flat coat over everything, if that gets frosted, then like I said, I don't mind that. I am going to pack a little fiber fill in there first, though. Welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday, the gateway to the weekend. Yay! And it's the last weekend before Wonderfest. And if you don't think I'm frantic, if you can't hear that in my voice, well, you ain't listening. It's nuts around here. It is absolutely bonkers, and I am bound and determined, not legally bound, mind you, but morally and ethically bound, to finish this Bird of Prey this week. Now, I am almost ready to do said thing. All I need to do is to stick the pole through the bottom of this and finish up the last bits of wiring, and we should be ready to call this bird done. I painted the pole. I will have to touch that up, obviously. We got black paint that's going to be scratched. But we are more or less done. Everything else that I think I need to do, I can do once it's on the stand. That's kind of what my rationale is. I know that I still need to put decals on the front and backs of those wings, and I'm praying to God I can slide those in behind the front panels. It's going to be interesting. The other thing is hoping and praying that the board is going to work. It's been a while since I've had everything plugged in, so we're going to try to recreate the brain work necessary to put this board in. Now, what I'm going to have to do is feed everything through the top of the base so that it comes out this hole here, and then kind of sit it like this while I'm doing my soldering, and then just close it up when I'm done. Well, I'm going to borrow a phrase from last week. Do you want the good news or the bad news first? The good news is we're up. We're on the base. Everybody's happy. We've got most of the electronics all sorted out. Everything is working, with the exception of one thing. And you can hear you can hear the torpedoes. You cannot see the torpedo, because I have lost the torpedo light. This is overspill, so I'm actually getting a little bit of nice light, but that's overspill from the lighting in the cockpit or in the head. But where you would normally see a flash, you're not seeing it. And the reason is, I heard a little, while I was finishing up the wiring, I heard a little snap. And that little snap makes me feel like I have shorted it out. If I open this up, you will see that this rat's nest of wiring is completed. And having finished all of that, I'm going to go in here and hot glue some of that wiring down just to keep it neat. But it's a wonder. If you know what I was going through to get this done, I am happy. Trust me, I am tickled pink with the amount of stuff that I've got to work and work correctly. So I got the sound. I'll take that as take it as a win. But that's the only thing that didn't make the transition, was the flashing strobe, or the flashing torpedo light. Still got a little bit of work to do on this, and we're going to leave some of that for tomorrow. We've got these decals to put on, got a basic flat coat to put over everything, and I'm going to do some, and I probably will do this tonight, is to do the crystal clear in the windows to close those up. But yeah, that's it. That's I'm putting it in the win column with an asterisk. All right, we're just finishing up the evening on the bird of prey here with a little bit of micro crystal clear. I've put it in all of the openings that I made windows out of. I just spotted 2 that I forgot. So this is why it's good to have another pair of eyes on everything. I forgot these 2 back here. But we're going to let this set up overnight. And then we are going to be able to spray the flat coat over everything. You know what? Before we shut down, I think I might try to put the decals on the front there. I know that they're very likely to get scratched off. They're very prone to be ripped off when we reposition the wings, because this is just a natural rubbing point. But we got to do something. And I don't think simply painting them is going to be enough. I'm wondering if I could get away with, see, if I move that up to the highest point. No, it's still gonna end up running the risk of being rubbed off. So might as well put them on there and see how bad it gets. Alrighty, the decals are on, but I have zero confidence that they will last past the first time that I flex the wing hinges. I just don't believe that it was designed that way. I know there's no room for them. I know they're going to get scraped off. It's just a question of how badly. So enjoy them while they last. We will take a look at this again in the morning. Morning, everybody. It's Friday. It's the last work day of the week. It's the last work day on this bird of prey, and it's going to be the last work day until after Wonderfest, because I have got to get my you-know-what together. And right now it is in loose piles. It is not together in the least. So we're going to finish this off today. I have been picking at it with some washes of rust and some washes of strong tone, which is like a black. This is from the Army Painter line, and some sepia washes. This is from the this is Vallejo wash. Just going in and here and there and adding some contrast and some interest in various spots. The last thing I want to do before I hit this with a flat coat spray is to add some decals to it. Now, the decals that come with the kit, yeah, they're fine, but they're not all that. I was thinking I was going to add some. Now, Rick Sternbach, you know who Rick Sternbach is. He is the master of all things Klingon, and amongst other things. He has cooked up a set of Klingon miscellaneous ancillary decals. The sheet looks like this when it's all together. And, I don't read Klingon. I didn't put this much energy into learning Spanish when I was in school, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time learning Klingon. These could say, I love fuzzy puppies and kittens for all I know. I'm sure it means something to somebody. But I am going to be adding, because they come in a nice variety of colors. There are some some green and some yellow and white and red. And depending on the color of your ship, you'll find something that will stand out in contrast. It wouldn't make any sense to put green markings on a green ship, but if you had a gray ship, you would certainly put green markings on it. And then, of course, we have your standard 3-color Klingon trifoil. I don't know whether there's an exact... It's the Klingon logo. I don't know if there's an exact term for it. But what I would like to do is use some of these decals to kind of dress up this particular bird of prey. And then once that has happened, I will be at liberty to finish up any little bits of paint and smack this thing with a coat of flat paint or flat clear, and it will be done. Now, I put the decals on the front of the wings yesterday, and like I said, I have no confidence that they will last their lifespan because they are so tight. The area in here, and this is such a rubbing point. But I did play with them a little bit this morning, and I was happy to see that son of a gun, they do sneak up behind there. They didn't rip up like I was thinking they would, so they are a little bit more resilient than I was thinking they would be. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to put a slight wash over the top of these wing tips, or these hinge tips, only because I think they look a little bare, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is take, well, first I want to do the thing I normally do with this chrome paint, and that is just to hit the front edge of things where paint might have scraped down to the metal. I want to do that on some of these bits on the, particularly on the guns here. But then it's going to be a decal city. So let me go get my bowl of water, and I've got my towel out. I need a bowl of water. I need some Q-tips, and I need some microset. And we're going to have fun with some aftermarket decals. Alrighty, I've got the decals down. Some are subtle, some are not so. But we're going to let this. Let the decals set for a while, let them dry. And then the last thing to do will be to put a flat coat over top of all of them to protect it. I need to touch up the post where I scratched the paint yesterday, and then do a little bit of metallic highlighting on the guns and such. Alrighty, I just put the last touches on the bird of prey, and that included touching up the post and then giving the fins of the wing hinges a light dusting of gunmetal to kind of knock down that bright gray that they were. And I think, you'll also see I've got the some highlighting on the leading edges of things where, you know, you might have some paint scrapes, that sort of thing. So this is ready to go. Now all I need to do is let this sit for a few hours, and then that'll let the decals dry in and all of that. And then we can do a flat coat over the whole shebang, and she'll be done. And here we are, ladies and germs, all done. Now there's nothing ties everything together quite like a nice, I'll go ahead and turn this light off, like a nice flat coat that really binds everything and makes it look all of the same intention. So here we can see, now I've tried to make it a little bit dark in here, but we can see the lights that are working. We've got there are 4 lights on the wings. We've got interior lights in here, strobe, nav. Yes, I got the strobe and the nav. We've got the red lights in the head there, the remnant of the red light that shines in the torpedo, even though we've got no torpedo. We do have the engines back here doing their thing on the I guess that's the warp engine. I imagine it would be. But we've got that doing its pulsy thing. And if you push the button, we do not get a light, but we do get a sound. Takes a second. We hear 3 torpedoes. And in a perfect world, that light would be flashing. And there you go, friends. This is the Bird of Prey kit from AMT/Round 2/Polar Lights/ whatever. This kit, I will tell you, is a product of its time. Now, kits these days are made a lot better than this, and when I say that, I mean more lighting friendly and, you know, all that kind of stuff. This is still a great kit for its time. And to say this kit didn't have its issues, it had its issues, and they were all user error. I will not fault the kit for that. I will fault user error for the lighting. But this kit probably, I mean, other than the fact that it's got some clear parts in it, wasn't designed to be lit. It was, if you could light it, good for you, but it certainly wasn't. They didn't make it easy on you, is what I'm trying to say. But I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you enjoyed watching the ups and downs. I would really recommend Cass's wing. If you're going to build this, I would recommend Cass's wings, his wing hinges, because they do give you a whole lot of options that you didn't get with the kit, even though the kit gave you, you know, 3 positions for the wings. This you can do a banking turn where one is down and one is up. You could do all kinds of interesting displays with this, with the way that the hinges work. And for this not being, for me using a lighting kit that wasn't designed for this, and I have to cop to making some alterations on the fly. It didn't turn out that bad. Ralph, maybe you want to come out with a specialized lighting rig just for this kit now that it's going to be re-released or has been re-released. That's on you, but I think the hobby would support it. Speaking of supporting the hobby, next week is Wonderfest. There will be no video next week. This time next week I will be finishing up. This is Friday. I will be finishing up the day-long class with Iwata, helping them out with their airbrush class. I look forward to it. I am not a trained speaker, so it should be a fun day. So until next time we meet, y'all be good, be safe, be smart, get outside once in a while, and then get back to building more models. See you then.